Hi all, welcome to the channel, and today we would be doing the field service module of Dynamic CRM. The field service module is one of the most innovative modules of Dynamic CRM, which plays an important role when you want to offer the services to your existing clients. So let's say you bought a AC which is giving you which is keeping us all cool during the summers, and for some reason this AC unit is not working. So in that case, how the field service module would be assisting us. The field service module, the moment will play an important role in here. So what exactly happens is you would be calling the service center guy. The service center guy would be raising an incident based on your request, and he would be associating certain details to your request. Let's say what type of AC you are having, which product, with this product needs what type of skills of a person or a worker who could assist you, or characteristics of those. Once everything would be in place, then there would be someone who would be dispatching a person, who would be sending out a person to your home place based upon your latitudes and longitudes. And the person's latitudes and longitudes, they would be able to map you through a requirement, and then they would be able to guide you through a map to your home location, offer you services, inspections, etc., and then they would be good, and you would be enjoying the cool air from your AC again. And this is all about a regular request. What about a monthly or yearly or bi-weekly or bi-monthly maintenance request? What if we want to do that? And that all can be done in the field service module. So I would like to welcome you towards my channel and towards the study of field service module. And the agenda for this PPT would be, like for this course would be, I would be first of all assisting you to configure the field service module, like how to enable certain settings out in there. Then I would be helping you out with various terms, like what is a work order, what is a resource, and how to undertake those configurations in the application. The third and the most important would be the bookable resource, like defining a bookable resource, like a person who could be booked so as to offer you services. How to create an incident to which a service has to be offered. Definitely at times there would be some replacement of the products, the spare parts on your AC or on your unit, which needs to be a part of inventory of the organization. Now after that, definitely at times we would be going through agreements out in there, like the agreements, like I am eligible for a 3 years of service free of cost. All those type of agreements, creating those agreements in our application, followed by inventory, like at times we would be buying the multiple products from various people out in there. And the most important here is the field service mobile app, the app which would be used by the resources, the workers who are working who are working in the field so as to offer you the services. So what exactly happens is, they in an organization, whenever we raise an incident, against that incident a work order would be raised, and that work order would be assigned to some executive. And that work order, once executive has been assigned, then they would be able to track it on their mobile devices so that they can reach you in time. They can qualify for all the basic requirements for fulfilling that work order, and then all those stuff they can do it through the field service mobile app. Post that, I would be showing you an amazing dashboard, an interactive dashboard, which is a unique offering of this module, that is field service module, which assists our dispatchers in the organization to dispatch or to associate multiple work orders to multiple executives which are available on that time, on that instant of time. And definitely there are multiple other options in there, like what I want to see, which type of filter I want to see, what should be the radius in there, and all those scheduling options. Let's say a request has been assigned to Mr. James, but for some reason Mr. James is not available today in the office, or he is pretty occupied with the work order which was initially assigned to him. So what are the other options, like how we can transfer that work order to someone else, or how we can ask for an extension of the time when he would be visiting that location? All those options are in there. Last but not the least, like I would be assisting you how to customize the schedule board, the board which would be available to the dispatcher out in there. And there are various other optimizations which are possible, like optimization of scopes, goals, profiles, etc. So let's start with the real-time demo rather than following the presentations out in there. So I would be taking you ahead with the field service module. The moment you would be setting up a trial instance of field service. So once we set up a trial instance of field service module, we usually get these three modules: field service mobile, and resource scheduling. These are the three important modules or the model driven apps which would be enabled for your environment. Now field service is the base module of it. Therein we would be doing all the configurations, creating the resources, characteristics, skills out in there. Once all the things would be done, then resource scheduling is a module wherein we have a dashboard, or we can say an interactive unified interface through which we can schedule those work orders to multiple people out in there. Exactly, it is pulling out the information from every table out in there. And field service mobile is something which is an app which is more of a mobile driven app, like let's say an app which can be used or can be utilized by your workers who are working in the field. So let's move ahead with exploring of field service module out in there. So once you would load the field service module, since mine is a trial version, so we are getting an option of 30 days left with my free trial. But in your case, if you are using a licensed version, this feature, this notification would not be there. So first and the most important aspect is to configure your field service module. And for that, again, on the same lines like if you call my previous videos, therein I have mentioned how to navigate over a field service module or navigate across Dynamics application itself. So first thing first, we need to go to the setting and we have to enable few of the things out in there, which includes our map, the priorities, etc. in there. And for that, I would request you all to go to this settings module. In settings module, we would be having a setting specifically for this part, field service settings. And in field service settings, we have to enable like mobile booking for mobile devices. I am enabling this condition. Apart from it, there are other configurations out in there. I'm just recalling it and I'm just checking it on my screen, the other screen. So we need to go field service app. Under the resources, we would be having an app as resources. Yes, in here we would be going to scheduling parameters, and in here we need to enable this map setting also, because this will help us a lot in executing the application. Like whenever we would be setting up the tickets or work orders out in there, then this setting would help us so as to associate or locate the location exactly on the map. Once this part has been done, then we would be moving ahead with multiple other configurations in the application. So let's move ahead with the other configuration, that is setting of territories. Because in an organization, what happens is, let's consider a big organization. So in that big organization, they would be having a lot of customers which would be belonging to different sections or different areas out in there. So usually what we do is we try to associate or we try to group the request from multiple people and the resources which are working with our organization all together under the cap of a territory. And we can also have a parent of it, that is organization unit. So usually what happens is we create a territory. So in here, if you can see, I have created territories like Sumit East, North, South and West. So these territories are nothing but logical grouping of our things, so that whenever we would be onboarding a resource, we would be associating them to a specific territory. That would make is easier for our executives who are working in the background, the dispatchers in the background, to associate only the required request with them. Instead of that, if we are not defining the territories, what will happen is, let's say a resource who is working with my organization in Hyderabad would be given a ticket or a work order, or allocated a ticket of work order which is in Delhi. So I just want to like to define a range to which a request should be associated to which type of resources are in there. Now in the organization, usually this product part, now I would be showing you the products part which we have configured in our application. So what exactly happens is, we do have multiple types of products out in there. Usually this information of product flows from your sales module, or it's same across the organization. But in my case, what I have done is I have created certain specific products to my field service module, like Sumit remote printer, Sumit printer maintenance, and Sumit printer services. So what happens is whenever we would be receiving a work order, we would be associating what type of services, what type of things that particular work order needs to have it. So let's say I am receiving a work order for maintenance request. So I would be associating this product in there. In field service, we do have multiple types of products, and few of the products are like inventory products, few of the products are non-inventory products, and at times few of the products are service products also. I would be trying to show you on my field services. So see, these are the options in there. Whether this product is a non-inventory product, whether this product is an asset to a customer, yes or no. All those information we can tag onto a product. On the same lines, we have non-inventory products, like those products, inventory products, sorry. So we do have inventory products like this one, Sumit remote printer. This is an inventory product of which I want to keep a track of how much my organization is having at what instant of time. Once these products are created, then the most important part is associating this product with the price list, because what exactly happens is price list is something wherein we define the prices of these products. So you have a product in place and now you want to define the prices of it. So let's say you want to have different price list for different territories. Let's say Sumit North would be having a different pricing, Sumit South would be having a different pricing. So all those things can be managed in the price list section in there. So I have created a price list and have associated all those products of mine to this price list as price list items and have defined their prices like $150, $750, $1,000, something like that. So let's see in here, when I am associating it, I need to define few of the properties like default unit, unit group, default unit price, price list, and at the same time I need to define the price, the most important aspect out in there. So it was somewhere, let me check it, field services, not in here. One second. A price list. In price list, I would be defining the price list item out in there. Now once this price list and the product has been associated and you have a territory in place, now the next level comes in. So if you can recall, till now what we have done is we have created territory, we have created a product, and we have associated that product to a price list. Now the second stage will come wherein we would be defining the skills and the characteristics. The skills and the characteristics plays an important role in our application, and that needs to be defined in the resources module. So let's go to the resources sections out in there. Now in here, resources, somewhere here, one second. So we have the proficiency model. Now in proficiency model, I am defining what are the proficiencies and what are the security levels. I am defining the ratings like minimum rate and maximum rate, and to each of this I am defining the rating value also. Like if someone is familiar, then it would be considered as 1. If someone is proficient, then it would be considered as 2, and if someone would be expert, then it would be considered as 3. So these are my proficiency module. Now what is its importance? Its importance is whenever a ticket or an incident would be created into the application, based upon the agreement, only a resource with all these proficiencies, let's say for expert proficiency you need a resource with an expert proficiency, you need a resource with a proficiency of level 1, that he should be familiar with it. So all those things are tracked using this proficiency module. Along with it, we do have a security clearance module, like which means this one, security levels. So again, we are just having the rating values for the same also, like which type of level or security it is, whether a person is having like which type of security does he have, a rating for the security levels out in there. Because the combination of both, that is your proficiency level and security level, would be assisting us to perform this activity, like whenever a work order would be assigned to an executive. So now we have in place two things, like your proficiency and your security standard. But at times the organization also needs a certified resource for any specific thing. So we need to define the skills also at the same time. Like this is a skill, like Sumit's CISM is a skill, a certification, skill of type certification, wherein I have associated all the required information. So these three combination based upon your requirement in your organization, we would be defining first the skills, second is the security, and the third and the most important is the proficiency. Once all these things are done, then we do have a we do have the categories or the roles out in the resource roles we call it. So let's move ahead towards the resource roles. So now we are in the roles section. Now what could be the roles a person could have? Person could have an installation specialist role. A person can have a security analyst role or a site inspector. Now if you can see, now we have everything in place. Like let's say a person's skill, security, a person's security clearance, and a person's role. And all these things will work together or will be acting all together to give as a best resource which would be suitable for working over a specific work order which has been assigned to our team. Now once all this has been done, definitely we need to create a resource, and for that we have to switch it on the resources unit. First, the most important thing is before creating a resource we need to define an organizational unit, to which organizational unit the resource belongs to. Once that resource has been created, then we have to create a inventory or a warehouse for that resource, so that usually what happens is we create an imaginary or a virtual truck for each and every resource to which we would be allocating the resources. So let's say in our inventory we have 5 printers available in there, and we want to allocate this work or this work order to Mr. James. So whenever we are allocating the work to Mr. James, what we do is from our main inventory we would be allocating 5 products or 2 products to this imaginary or a virtual truck, so as to keep a track of the things which are available for that resource or which are keeping a track of it. Usually what happens is in an organization, the moment we start working it, we start implementing it, more and more clarity will be coming across us. But the most important aspect in creating a resource is its territory. And once the resource has been created and its territory has been defined, then we need to define the place wherein the person would be starting it. Like say to which hourly rate it is, to which warehouse that person belongs to, let's say main warehouse, and like from where he would be starting, like start location, like resource organizational unit address and these addresses. So what it will do is it will help us so as to associate only those specific tickets which would be in the coordinates of that organizational unit. Again, this organizational unit address would be having some coordinates and endpoint would be having some coordinates. So based upon the latitude and longitude location of this organizational unit, you would be able to identify that this is the closest and the best suitable resource for this particular task. And once you are able to identify that, then it becomes very much easier in the application to block a ticket or to assign a ticket or to dispatch a ticket to an executive working out in there. So in terms of the field service, work order is a request over which you have to work. Resource is the person who would be working on it. Organizational unit is the territory to which it belongs or the larger section to which it belongs, and territories are the subdivision in that organizational unit. Now I would be taking you ahead with few other stuff around it, and let's see how it goes around. So once you are done with the basic needed configurations out in there, then a work order and incident would be created in the application by our executives on when they receive a telephonic call. Let's say you received a call and that call needs to have a work order created for it. So we would be first creating an incident, and that incident or again that incident the team would be creating a work order. So let's go to the service area. In here you would be seeing both the things, that is cases. Case is known as an incident in field service module. The case can be raised against an account or a contact, and then once this case has been assigned, then there would be a team. Like usually in field service we have couple of different roles. One is the field service admin who manages this field service module itself. There is a dispatcher who dispatches or assigns different work orders to different people out in there. There are people who work on those work order requests. So let's go. Once the work order has been created, then someone who would be logged in as a dispatcher, they would be going to this resource scheduling module, and they would be able to see all those work orders which have been created in the application, or which needs an allocation. Let's say in my application, if you can see, these are the open requirements like 042 sample W0 13941. The duration for this is 3 hours 30 minutes. The duration for this is 2 hours. It can be fulfilled in this. Remaining duration is this. And everything, every information would be visible to me as a dispatcher. Now, based upon the things, the skills, and everything, I can simply filter out the best suitable resources out in there. So, in here, just closing that. Want to pull. So let's say for this work order, based upon everything, I decided that Mr. David is the best suitable option. So I can simply drag and drop my work order to this, and he would be able, this work order would be assigned to Mr. David, and he would be able to take up actions on this work order. He would be able to start, he would be able to see this work order in their mobile devices. Based upon your configurations, an email might be sent over to Mr. David stating that, hey David, this email has been sent over, or this work order has been assigned to you. If they wish to see it on a map, this button, they have to click it, and they would be able to see it over a map, so that they would be able to see at which location I am at this moment of time, to which direction I need to travel, and everything, every information out in there. They can see, the dispatcher can like arrange it as a list instead of chart. So I usually prefer using a chart. This chart can be configured, filtered based upon hourly hours, daily, weekly, or monthly. It can have dates, like the dates to which you want to have it. At the same time, let's say I want to do it directly booking a resource, so I can simply pull in the requirement, and I can also book a resource directly based upon our requirement. Now, what if I want to design a new dashboard, a new scheduled dashboard, something like this for my requirement? The thing is, I simply need to click on this plus new. I can create it. I can default every setting out in there, like what type of filters has to be assigned to it, what should be on the open requirements, what should be on the work order part. All those things can be configured by us. So that was all about the field service module in a small brief. Now this field service module supports two type of mobile solutions. One is the Woodford solution, which we usually need to download it from a third party vendor. We need to pay it again for this solution, which offers you a mobile functionality out in there. That is, people can, the executives who would be accessing our information over a mobile phone would be able to see this information over here. At the same time, Microsoft Dynamics also supports an app which is known as Field Service app, which is something like this, which would be visible to our executives on their phone, the Field Service mobile. And this is a unified app which has been configured. They would be able to see each and everything in there, like what are the work orders which are assigned to me, what are the incidents I need to work upon, what are the activities I need to work upon. All those information they can track it in here. To both the apps, I have logged in as my user, my system user with admin credentials. That's the reason it's visible to us something like this. If I would have logged in as a specific user, then you would have seen more filtered data out in here. But yes, mobile field service supports mobile devices. Field service have three parts out in there. That is like field service default module, field service resource scheduling module, and field service mobile device module. So usually mobile is specifically for our field service executives who are working in the field. Service module specifically is for our resources or field service admin who configures this entire application, and resource scheduling is for our team to who would be scheduling the resources or who would be dispatching the work orders to different teams out in there. And that was all about my field service module. Yes, I know we have not covered everything in detail. I would be preparing few more videos in future regarding the field service module. But thanks all for watching the video, and please do feel free to reach me in case of any query or concerns out in there.